Hey guys, Justin Morgan here, and I just finished watching a video on my way home from school by Tino the Bananiac. Most of you probably familiar with him. He is also a vegan dietetics student, much like myself, studying at a school that is accredited and approved by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, formerly known as the American Dietetics Association. And he was just sharing how frustrating it is to be a student or a vegan student at a diet in dietetics, and some of the frustrations he was having at his school. And I kind of wanted to chime in just because that really is not my experience in going to school. I shared this last year in a video. It was about a year and a half ago now, actually probably a year, maybe even longer than that. I don't know. I've been doing this channel for a little while now. But this is a statement by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It says, "It is the position of the American Dietetic Association that appropriately planned vegetarian, including total vegetarian or vegan diets, are healthful, nutritionally adequate, and may provide health benefits in the prevention and treatment of certain diseases." And they go on to share more, but that's all I really wanted to cover from that, because I just wanted to say that the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is not an anti-vegan organization. They really do not promote a meat-based diet. From what I heard there, they not only think that vegan diets are healthful, but that they are useful in the treatment and prevention of disease. So that's not really the position of the American Dietetics Association or the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And then it's also not my personal experience in going to school. I do have some frustrations that I will share in a little bit, but I kind of want to talk about some of the positive aspects first. And one is, as many of you know, last year I was an exercise science student, and studying exercise physiology. I kind of, at the end of the year, I had to make a decision. Do I want to go back to dietetics again, or do I just want to stay and do a full bachelor's degree in exercise physiology? And there was one teacher that I had that was a dietetics teacher named Kim Brubaker that was very instrumental for me in making a decision that, no, I really want to focus on dietetics. And Kim, one, she's a spectacular person. She made all the dietetics classes very fun, very enjoyable. They were open forum kind of discussion type classes, and I have kind of continued that regardless of whether the teachers were open to it or not. But Kim, one of the things that she believed, she shared a lot about epidemiology. She would look at different cultures and how their diets affected their health, and she really was very promoting of like the Chinese diet, or the Asian type diets, where they were kind of low in fat, they had very minimal animal products. And the last thing that I think as a class that she said to us was, "I don't mean to impose myself on any of you, but I think that vegetarian diet," I don't think she was a vegan. She ate eggs, but not a lot of eggs. I mean, she ate, apart from a few eggs per week, a vegan diet. But she was not a vegan. She was a vegetarian. And I don't think from an ethical standpoint that she wore and used like animal products and stuff like that, but in the sense of diet and promoting dietary things, she was one of the two primary teachers that are within the dietetics program at my college, and she was a vegetarian. Well, she left due to personal reasons. She went home to where she's from to take care of her mother. So a man named David took over for her at the college there, and he shares many of the similar values, I guess, that she does. He identifies himself as a vegetarian, not a very good way though. I think he still eats like poultry. He just doesn't eat red meat. And he talked about the differences of different types of vegetarians. and I can't remember what that one was called, but so I wouldn't really call him a vegetarian. But he also, in his classes, talked about that there are certain benefits to being a vegetarian. Vegetarians typically have lower risk of cancer. They have lower BMIs. They have lower problems with like heart disease, cardiovascular disease, and you know, he talked about all these things. But then he also shared some aspects that were things to watch out for if you were a vegetarian, and that's kind of where it gets frustrating to me, is because we talk about you know, vegetarians need to be careful that they get enough iron, that they get enough vitamin B12, that they get vitamin D from a source, and I fully agree that those are notable things that we should look into. But then there's almost a feeling when you talk about that vegetarians need to be careful with that, but meat eaters, they don't need to worry about any of those things. It's fine. And the problem is that people have a meat-centered diet have many more things that they should be very concerned about in terms of their health and what they're getting. And I don't want to go into that in this video because that's not what this video is about. But so while I agree with Tino very much that there are frustrations that you know, when I've gone out, I've probably met, just this year alone, just since this semester and this semester at the beginning of the year, I've probably met a dozen different dietitians, counting the two that are at my college, that are in my local home area here, and with the exception of the two that are at my college who are in decent shape, all of them have been obese. And I'm not talking like just overweight, that they've got a little, little extra, a little more to love, so to speak. I mean, they are obese. In fact, I recently went to, I don't know if legally I'm allowed to share the names of organizations, but I went to a very well-known organization. If I said the name of the college, you all would recognize it. But the woman that headed that department was speaking, sharing how that her organization gets in-kind money and what happens. And she said that she was going out and speaking with a lot of rural area children about obesity, because their obesity statistics show that they are very high in this area, that these kids have a very high probability of being obese. But the only problem was that this woman was, she wasn't even just kind of obese, she was like class 3. They don't use the term morbidly obese anymore, now they have different classifications. So she was very obese, we'll put it that way. And to me personally, if I was a financial investor looking at giving money to someone, to an organization to promote health or anything, and the head of the organization that I was going to contribute to was speaking to people about the problems of obesity, and they were obese, I would think either something is very wrong with the information that you're sharing, or the information that you're sharing is so difficult that you personally can't do it. And I wouldn't have any interest in donating money to that. Unfortunately, that is the norm. That is the norm that we see within the field of dietetics, at least in my area, and that is not the exception. So I think that a lot of us could do a better job of getting on board with the plant-based way of eating for sure, if not, to adopt all the aspects of veganism, that you avoid using animal products and throughout your life. But whatever the case may be, any movement towards a plant-based diet, I think, is going to be better than what many people are using now. But I guess to summarize this video, my experience is very different than Tino's, in that many of the relationships that I've had with teachers and with the program that I'm in have been very positive, and they have had very good things to say about vegan diets. I did have one teacher that was not very fond of the aspects of veganism, and she was also a very integral part of the dietetics program at my school, so I can't say it's been 100% flowers and roses and things, but still, yeah, I've had very many positive experiences, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.